In today's Tackle Tuesday video, I'm going to talk about my Okuma Ceymar combos. And this is what happens when you don't take care of your rods and reels. They get all wrapped up on each other. I'm going to get these unwrapped real quick and talk more about it. Now the Okuma Ceymar combos are Okuma's value rod and reels. This is a rod and reel that you would expect to find at Walmart or even at Academy Sports. Maybe I can get a thumbnail early in the video. Okay. Now back to what I was saying. It is the value rod and reel for Okuma. There is one small problem with these combos. I can't really find them anywhere anymore. They were on Amazon, and I tell you what, Amazon had the description and the titles of these rods and reels completely wrong. And I know that I told Amazon support, I filled out their forms, and Okuma did the same thing to try to get these rod and reels described properly on Amazon. And now they have vanished off Amazon. Now there might be a random Walmart that has these, and I know some local tackle shops do keep these in stock sometimes, like Big Fish Outfitters here in East Tennessee. So if you're interested in one of these, I'd talk to one of your local tackle shops. Now I'm calling these Okuma's value combos because they're cheap. If you're wanting to get into Okuma and you don't want to spend $200 on a rod and reel, here you go. You can start off with these. And let me show you this combo, which is not an Okuma Ceymar combo. There is a story behind this. Now I had bought a 40 size Okuma Ceymar combo, and I was using it for channel catfish and carp. The rod on the 40 size has a 1 ounce max rating, which is awesome. I like using 1 ounce weights when I'm going for channel catfish, and my carp gear, my method leads, are about 1 ounce. So it matches that rod perfectly. And I had them for a while. Then I discovered that Okuma has the Okuma Ceymar bait runner. Now you can't get the bait runner as a combo, but what I did is I bought 2 Okuma Ceymar bait runners and I put them on those 2 rods. And I fished with that combo for a really long time. Now for a while, I was considering upgrading to a different rod because everything I'm using is 1 ounce. So when I put bait on the hook or carp bait on the method lead, it breaks the 1 ounce. So I'm actually using more weight than what's described on the rod. The rods were handling it fine, but I'm kind of a stickler to not going over what the rod says. And then my truck's door decided to eat the tip of one of the rods. So that gave me an excuse to buy these Pixel rods. These go up to 2.5 ounces, so perfect for channel catfish, carp, and if I ever wanted to chase redfish with this, perfect rod combo. Still, the Ceymar version of this combo, you could almost buy 2 of them for this one combo right here. So I highly recommend it if you want to get into using Okuma gear for small catfish or even carp. Now I guess I'll show you real quickly what I got going on here. This is actually 15-pound braid, and I'm thinking about upgrading this to 30-pound braid one of these days. I downgraded to 15-pound braid in an attempt to use these reels as skipjack reels. But they are a little bit heavy, so it's kind of awkward casting all the time for skipjacks with this. And 30-pound line makes me more confident when I'm chasing carp, especially when I'm chasing trophy carp. Now this is rigged up for channel catfish or even bullhead catfish right now. And I have a 1 ounce no-roll sinker with a little bead that I got from Bass Pro Shops, a barrel swivel, a leader line that I think is 12-pound monofilament, and then a 1/0 Team Catfish double action circle hook. And as you can see, I have these in pairs, most of them. I've got 2 of these, and I've got 2 of the smaller version. This is the size 30. The rod says it goes to 5/8 of an ounce. This is basically a good bass, trout, crappie rod. And in a pinch, I'd use it for skipjack. This rod is really too light for skipjack. You really need a stronger rod for them. Especially if you're catching them from the bank, you want to be able to reel them in and toss them on the bank. Reel them in, toss them on the bank. So this is a little bit too flimsy for that. But for crappie, trout, and even bass, perfect. And I have really light line on this as well. Skipjacks would probably break this line. This is 6-pound String Original monofilament on both of these. And I had this one rigged up with what I'm calling the Joe rig, which is a wire hook and a split shot on the main line. But I broke the line in a local creek, and I think I was actually trying to catch squirrels on accident. Now this one has a bobber on it because I was trying to catch bluegills and failing to do so. I didn't actually catch any bluegills. And this is that fine wire hook. So this is basically just a Joe rig with a bobber attached to the main line. And it's a weighted bobber. It's kind of all I had at the time when I was switching this over to bluegills. I may keep these rigged like this unless I'm going for crappie to see if I can catch some smallmouth and largemouth bass locally with some big shiners. In fact, talking about catching big smallmouth, let me show you a quick clip of me on Joe's boat from a recent trip that some of you may have already seen, catching a really nice smallmouth right here.
Fish.
Whoa!
Easy.
It's on your line. Yeah, this is just a tad bigger than what we had before. Whoa! Already jumping out of the water. Whoa! Yeah, that's a good one.
Pretty good one. The smallmouth. I know that. Oh. They fight, don't they?
Yes, they do. It's a nice sized one. I think it's bigger than the one I had earlier. Maybe. Awesome.
That's a beautiful one.
I think we need to measure him. Yeah. 18.
Yeah. What's it have to be?
18. I think it's 20 for smallmouth. That's a tank. It may not be trophy size, but man, you guys got to agree that this is an awesome, awesome smallmouth. Cool. All right, let this guy go. Let him grow. Ow, let go. Awesome. That was definitely a nice smallmouth. Now I do have the even smaller Ceymar combo. This is considered the 10 size, and I think there's a couple of different lengths. This length is 5 foot, and its maximum rating is 1/4 ounce. These are pretty much my bluegill combos. I use it to try to catch bluegill with and other small baits. You could use this for trout as well, as a travel trout rod. And something I didn't mention, these two rods and these two rods are both 2-piece rods. I normally try to stick with 1-piece rods, but these are bait combos. I'm not going to be using them against anything more than 5 pounds, except for when it comes to carp on these rods, and these are 1-piece rods. I do not remember if the 40 size is a 1-piece rod or not. It may not be, and I never take these apart. I just keep them together all the time. Now, Okuma does make a Ceymar bait caster, and I've got the secret walleye color bait on here that I've yet to catch a walleye with. And to be honest with you guys, I really don't like this combo. And I think it's because I put fluorocarbon on it, so it's kind of difficult to cast. If I had regular monofilament or if I had braid on this, it would be a lot easier to cast and use. I get a lot of bird's nests in this. But I may in the future try relining this and then seeing if I could catch a walleye on my secret bait. I've also used this with topwater, trying to catch walleye. Don't tell anybody I said that about topwater. Anyway, that's my Ceymar rods and reels and my Ceymar rod and reel story. I've had these rods and reels for a long time and never had a real problem with any of them. And as you saw, I really don't take care of my bait rods and reels. In fact, off camera, my poor catfish rods and reels are kind of in the same condition now, waiting on a boat. All piled up in a pile on my freezer. But that could be a testament to these rods and reels. They're cheap and they last a long time. You really can't ask for more than that. Good beginner combos or good combos to have just to have around. You never know when you might break that $200 rod and you have to break out the $40 combo. Anyway, before I continue rambling on here, I want to thank you guys for taking your time out of your day to watch my video. I really, really appreciate it. And to let you guys know that don't watch my community tab, I have a boat on the way. And it's going to be right here soon, so I won't be able to do any more Tackle Tuesday videos in the garage, because the boat will be in the way. But what I will try to do is some rigging videos of the boat in the garage. And they may be Tackle Tuesday videos, they may be Primary Thursday videos. It all depends on if I can catch any fish. That good luck streak I had a while back has been followed by a bad luck streak. But that's fishing. Be sure to like this video, and thank you again for watching.